Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we are starting lecture number 4. Our topic is History of Income Tax in Pakistan. Number 1, Promulgation of Income Tax Act 1922. When Pakistan came into being, the Government of Pakistan promulgated the Income Tax Act 1922 as amended up to the date of regulating the taxation system in Pakistan. Number 2, an applicability of Income Tax Act 1922. The provision of the Act were extended to the whole Pakistan except the specified areas. Number 3, formation of Taxation Inquiry Committee in 1958. A Taxation Inquiry Committee was introduced in 1958, which was consisting of officials and representative of trade and commerce. Number 4, recommendations of Tax Inquiry Committee. The Taxation Inquiry Committee submitted a report after keen analysis of prevailing the tax system and suggested some recommendations. Some of recommendations were accommodated, which resulted in the amendment in Income Tax Act 1922. Number 5, abolishment of super tax in 1959. Before 1959, super tax was imposed on the income of all persons, but it was abolished. Number 6, expression of a rate slab as percentage of income. In 1959, the rates of each slab were expressed as percentage of income, considering the recommendations of Tax Inquiry Committee. Change of financial year in 1960. Before 1960, the financial year was considered from 1st April to 31st March, but in 1960 it was changed from 1st July to 30th June. Introduction of Self-Assessment Scheme in 1965. In 1961, FBR introduced an Income Tax Committee. The main purpose of introduction of such committee was to make recommendations for the simplification of the Income Tax Act 1922 and the procedure of taxation. And after that, in 1965, it was introduced a self-assessment scheme. Promulgation of Income Tax Ordinance 1979. Till 1979, lot of amendments was made in contest of Income Tax Act in 1922. As a result of these amendments, the Act became a complicated law and difficulties arose in its working. Keeping these difficulties in view, the government promulgated a new tax law, namely the Income Tax Ordinance 1979 by the Federal Ordinance on June 28, 1979, and all includes the basic concept of a replaced act. So the benefit of whole case law built up over the last 57 years is not rendered unless. Formation of National Tax Reform Commission in 1985. In 1985, the federal government forms a National Tax Reform Commission. It was consist of member of Senate and National Assembly, high government officials, and industrialists. Major purpose of such commission was to suggest way and means to improve the existing structure of tax law in Pakistan. Income tax survey in 1999 to 2000. In 1999 to 2000, under the Income Tax Ordinance 1979, an income tax survey was conducted to analyze the prevailing of taxation structure and the procedure, the suggestion and recommendations from surveyor. Introduction of tax amnesty scheme. Many tax amnesty schemes were introduced under the Income Tax Ordinance 1979. These schemes were introduced to provide the chance to black money holders so that they can change their black money into the white money. Promulgation of Income Tax Ordinance 2001. After 22 years of promulgation of Income Tax Ordinance 2001, to modernize the taxation system, a Government of Pakistan introduced a new income tax law, namely the Income Tax Ordinance 2001, which was promulgated on September 30th, 2001. It was published in Extraordinary Gazette of Pakistan at page bearing number 1969 to 1217. Short title of Income Tax Ordinance 2001. Under the Section 1, the ordinance specifies the Income Tax Ordinance 2001 shall be short title of the law. Applicability of Income Tax Ordinance in whole Pakistan. Under the Section 1, the ordinance specifies the Income Tax Ordinance shall extend to the whole Pakistan. Status of Income Tax Ordinance 2001. According to the Section 3, the Income Tax Ordinance 2001 overrides other laws enforceable in Pakistan. It means in case of any contradiction between the provision of Income Tax Ordinance 2001 and any other law of country, the provision of Income Tax Ordinance 2001 shall prevail. Purpose of Income Tax Ordinance 2001. The preamble of ordinance to specify the object of law. It specifies that the Income Tax Ordinance 2001 is promulgated to consolidate it and to amend law relating income tax and provide the matters ancillary and the connected with the income tax. Income Tax Rules 2001. The FBR, under the authority of Section 237 of the Income Tax Ordinance 2001, made the Income Tax Rules 2002. These rules were published in July 1st, 2002 in Extraordinary Gazette of Pakistan at page 1819 to 1966. Finance Act 2008. To update the income tax law in Pakistan according to the requirement of time, different methods of change have been adopted by competent income tax authorities like SRO and circulars, etc. Finance Act is the regular source of change. It is presented in the month of June in each year. Finance Act 2018 is one step to continuous process of change. This is all about the history of income tax in Pakistan. Thank you.